Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
Cleanup is underway after a tornado ripped up parts of Grant County this afternoon. The twister was one of 3 to touch down in the area.
Valley News Team's Courtney Lockie shows you the mess left behind at the golf course near Elbow Lake.
The damage that the tornado did to this 18-hole golf course in Elbow Lake and the homes surrounding it is unbelievable. We have several downed trees and power lines, shattered windows, and roofs blown off. I talked to several neighbors and a couple people who work at the course, all who say it happened fast, but it was frightening.
We ran to our mechanical room with our little dog, and it was maybe 30 seconds, but you could hear the roar and we could hear glass breaking upstairs, and we have some vegetation in the house even.
What do you think of all this damage?
Well, it's really sad. First of all, it's devastating. Our guys that work at this course do such a good job, and we have people that come all over from different areas in the cities, and they all say how much they love our course, and it's so pretty, and just to see it damaged like this is just sad.
All of a sudden, one of the guys noticed out the window that the tornado was right above the clubhouse. So everybody ran downstairs, and we could see out the downstairs window the trees starting to come down over here along holes 17 and 18.
I talked to the Grant County Sheriff, and he says everyone's okay, but as you might imagine, there is a lot of cleanup to be done. Reporting in Elbow Lake, Courtney Lockie, Valley News Live.
Power is out to the golf course, and they're unsure when it's going to return.
Now, tonight's weather has eased up in its intensity, and there's little likelihood of tornadoes, strong winds, and lightning. But that doesn't mean there isn't something keeping the First Alert Storm Team busy. Hutch is here to explain. Hey, Hutch.
Thanks. It is a First Alert weather day, but things are wrapping up. Now, we're keeping our eyes on all this water that these heavy clouds dumped onto the area, flooding concerns, and a tower cam time lapse showing this morning shelf cloud rolling in. That shelf cloud was mean and ugly and packed some hail, a punch of hail to the area as well. More on that in a minute. And this is another cloud later in the day, in the afternoon, that rolled in, a roll cloud. See how it's not attached to the parent thunderstorm up there? That's the difference between a shelf cloud and a roll cloud. Our camera capturing that. And then look at the swirling motion of these clouds over Fargo as we saw storms roll through today. A lot fell in the rain gauges across the valley. Here's one for you. 5 inches in the Barnesville area from Wendy. Thanks so much for uploading your photo. 3.5 here in the Valley City area. More reports for rainfall, by the way, will be filtering in over the next day or so as storms exit our area. Our concern is for all the water that's fallen. 5 to 10 inches of rain estimated to fall near Gary and south central parts of Polk County as well. Central portions of Otter Tail County picking up about the same as far as estimated by Doppler radar. Much drier weather for the majority of us as we go through the weekend. I'll have details on that here in just a little while.
All right, thanks, Hutch.
A Fort Totten man has been found guilty on a federal charge of sexual abuse of an incapacitated victim. Paul Henry Kavanaugh was convicted after a 4-day trial in Fargo. A jury could not reach a consensus on another charge of aggravated sexual abuse by force. The 55-year-old was accused of raping someone on the Spirit Lake Reservation in March of 2018. His sentencing is scheduled for December.
The increased cases of COVID-19 in North Dakota are increasing the need for contact tracers. They're the ones who might contact people who test positive and those who they have come in contact with. Some contact tracers tell us they have met people who just don't take the disease seriously and refuse to comply. A 59-page manual from the State Health Department says they could call the Attorney General, county, or city attorney if someone is non-compliant.
Like, we've had people attending events while they know they are a case and they've tested positive, and they just do it just because.
So really, I think the hardest thing is narrowing it down to where they possibly have gotten it. A lot of it is community spread at this point.
University of North Dakota is looking to hire at least 30 more contact tracers. They prefer someone with a health background, but you don't need to have one.
There's been a coronavirus outbreak at a Minnesota food processing plant. A health department spokesperson confirmed the outbreak at Seneca Foods, that's in Glencoe, and that it likely started with a few temporary workers who were brought in to help with the annual corn harvest. There were at least 33 confirmed cases on Wednesday, 12 more suspected cases. 3 of those cases led to hospitalizations. Public health officials say the plant's preparation before the outbreak and its response afterward helped mitigate the spread of the virus.
Without those immediate tests, neither the company nor McLeod Public Health could really begin to get people into isolation and quarantine fast enough.
Seneca Foods processes corn, peas, onions, and mushrooms. It has plants in 9 states and is second largest in Minnesota.
Minnesota is reporting another 738 confirmed cases of COVID-19, along with 8 new deaths linked to the illness. In total, 1,693 deaths have been attributed to the disease. In North Dakota, there are 152 new cases and 1 new death. The death toll now sits at 121. For more information on these numbers, you can find them on our VNL News app.
With federal relief at a standstill, the Trump administration is approving North Dakota's request for additional flexibility to use CARES Act funds for low-income rental assistance. Coronavirus Community Development Block Grant funds can be used to supplement the state's temporary rental assistance program for households with 60% or less of area median income living in non-assisted housing. U.S. Senator John Hovatt of North Dakota said in part that the state took proactive steps with this waiver. North Dakota will be able to continue providing rental assistance on a broader basis.
Your ride to work might be getting an upgrade if you take the bus. North Dakota is getting a $15 million 4-year federal grant to purchase new buses and update bus facilities throughout the state. Engineers at the North Dakota DOT say 40% of the state's buses have met their useful life. Applications will be accepted in the fall for transit providers to apply for buses they'll need in the coming year.
Citizens in North Dakota depend on public transportation for access to health care, jobs, and other vital services. And so it's really important for us to invest in this infrastructure to serve those needs and to keep our state operating efficiently.
The North Dakota DOT plans to reopen applications over the next 4 years that the grant funds are available.
Moorhead students and parents will know more about their upcoming school year in 4 days when the district shares its Return to Learn plan on August 18th. School leaders built the plan with state guidance and input from parents and staff. Valley News Live will be there for a news conference on the 18th, and we will bring you the very latest.
The upcoming school year will present challenges for all involved, including first-year teachers. Valley News Team's Hope Sisk talked to one young woman who says she is fresh and familiar with technology, and she's watched what other communities did this spring.
We have definitely not how I imagined it starting.
Not even a global pandemic could dampen Lauren Johnson's enthusiasm about setting up her very first classroom.
Finally be in here and think like, I'm gonna have my class, these are my kiddos that I get to teach. It's so exciting. So whatever the circumstances are, I'm just like over the moon that I have a classroom of kiddos that I get to make a difference for.
She already knows,
6 feet apart.
She'll be juggling hybrid learning and flexible seating options for 18 second-grade students.
Chair. These are good, especially for reading.
At Bismarck's Jeanette Myrie Elementary.
They've told us just to kind of be ready for any possibility.
But she says her teacher training last spring, when the pandemic hit,
each kid will get their own,
proved educators can continue to meet students' needs.
To see the curriculum that they pulled together for 9 weeks over the course of 3 days was absolutely inspiring and encouraging.
She says any and all in-person instruction time will give her valuable insight into the way her students learn.
We want to give them a normal experience, but we don't want to put them in danger.
Lauren says teachers are built with energy and eagerness, whether you're going into your first or 27th year.